All right, this is another reason you may be tired. Stop fighting God's sovereignty, okay? I think it was Saturday. It was after he had started telling me these different things on the phone with my mama, and I had posted Lauren London to my story, and she was saying at some point life is going to chin check all of us. So it's best that we focus on our enlightenment, that we roll with the river and not fight with the rocks, okay? And so when I was taking my break, I watched a Pretty Boss video, and she was talking about radical acceptance. And I was like, dang, sis, like I need to see this the other day before I got my feelings, right? And she was talking about when we be like, why? Y'all know that's me, like, why? That is fighting with the rocks, okay? You're fighting with the timing, or you're fighting with the course itself, and you're asking God all these questions when it's all out of our control. Those aspects, right? So roll with the river and not fight with the rocks. We're tired because we're out here trying to fight with the rocks instead of going with the flow. And the flow is God's Holy Spirit, right? Focusing on our growth, our development, our process, right? Us coming higher in God. And so radical acceptance, to stop asking why, right? Like that's fighting with the rocks. Crying about it, not crying in general, right? Because sometimes you need that release. But crying about it, being in our feelings and being dramatic doesn't change anything or move God. And like you're literally just out here tired because you're fighting with the rocks. So surrender all control. That's what I had titled this. Stop fighting God's sovereignty. And I had told my mama on the phone, like, I give up. And she was like, what you mean you give up? I was like, not like that. But I give up trying to fight God, trying to control any of it, especially like the timetable piece. And I'm going to do a whole nother word on that too. But surrender all control. God said who, what, when, how, and why. Okay? Who, what, when, how, and why. If we're so focused on that and trying to control those aspects of life, which we can't, okay, that's going to leave us tired. Roll with the river and stop trying to fight with the rocks. We and our kingdom spouses, we're learning this in some way. So for some of the kingdom spouses, and especially when we're in our prodigal state, and just like understanding like you can't control who you love. Now they might be trying to control who they love because they're trying to avoid being hurt, right? Can't control who you love. We already released the word about that. What, for example, our assignments or something, right? Like we can't control what God has assigned us to do. So you might as well do it happily with the Lord because you can't control what he has called you to do, right? And I went through my bouts of that with YouTube. I still sometimes go through my bouts of that with YouTube. Like, I don't know about this. Can't control that. When? That's the timetable, right? How? The means in which he's going to do it. God, why did we have to go this route, right? That's not in your control. That's not in our control. And why? Like overall, why? That's us fighting the rocks, okay? Don't do that. We can't do that. We're learning it in some way, you and your kingdom spouse. And God is breaking our will. When we're trying to control who, what, when, how, and why, we're trying to be God. And in this, God is breaking our will. And all of these things, like choosing, come on, Holy Spirit, choosing to be obedient, choosing to be spirit-led, that is indeed breaking our own will. We can't want to, he coming through, hold on. Can't say yes to your will, yes to your way. We want to follow you. We want the cheat codes and stuff, but then still try to control it in some way. I want what's best for me, but still try to control it in some way. I want to go the direction you want me to go, but still try to control it in some way. It's not going to work like that. Stop fighting God's sovereignty, okay? This is a good one, okay? Come on, Holy Spirit. Roll with the river and not fight with the rocks, okay? So there's that one.